the trailer that came out. All right, so we have done a reaction to the trailer. When the trailer came out, you can go check that out on our channel. But right now, we can discuss the trailer as a whole and theories that we have for the movie. So Sean, you want to go first?
Yeah, I thought the trailer is probably has to be careful what I say here. I think it's the best theatrical movie with the best trailer this year. I think the best trailer was actually just like #1 with the Joker ending. That trailer was just badass. But for me, The Matrix is the best trailer we've had this year for a movie that's getting a theatrical release. I know it's on HBO Max as well, but I think it's better than the Dune trailer. And of course, the next Spider-Man trailer that has Toby and Andrew will probably top it. But for now, Matrix Resurrection has the best trailer. And the reason why is they didn't just play a song in this trailer just for the sake of a song. The song had deeper meaning for what the film is about. Alice in Wonderland, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like the words of the song matched up with the visuals of the trailer, which is probably very hard to do, but it worked brilliantly. And I thought some of the visuals was just fantastic. Some of the clips they used, the line delivery, Neil Patrick Harris's character, um, he's talking about like Keanu Reeves is like, "Am I crazy?" We don't use that word here. Neo and Trinity, have we met? Morpheus, so cool, so badass. And then like to see the blue pills popping up so much, and Keanu Reeves's character of Neo being trapped into a simulation, maybe, or maybe the movies were a dream, and now he's realizing this. Who knows at this stage? And then the movie playing in the background, younger versions of different characters, different agents in this one. Who's the villain? What's going on? I thought it was a brilliant trailer. I really, really loved it, and I watched it again earlier on, and I'm just really hyped for this one. I've said that this movie will can be I probably said will, but it can be the best film of 2021 because of the Wachowski. Certainly one of them, Lana Wachowski. But if they could recapture half of what they were captured in the first one, 1999, then we're in for an absolute ride right here. And I think with today's technology, with the society, with video games, with movies. This movie could be so, it could hold a mirror up to our society and how we act right now more than anything. And one shot in this trailer kind of showed that was the Neo one where he's in the elevator, I think, and he's looking around and everybody's on their phones or iPads or listening to music, and he's just standing there disconnected from this world that he's in. He's not plugged into this world, and he's probably realizing like there's more out there. I'm thinking of these things in my head. Like, why am I thinking about this? This is probably why he's with a psychiatrist. This is probably why he's on the blue pills, because he's thinking of the previous three movies, and he's thinking, I lived that life. What's going on here and all this? But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one big time. Can't wait for it to release. I can't wait not to understand it the first time I watch it. That's what I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to go on YouTube, look at Matrix Explain, the ending explain, stuff like that, because this movie will be deep, it will be meta. I'm sure the action will be amazing, but will the story be amazing? That's going to be hard to say because Wachowski's previous movies haven't been the best, but I have faith in this one, big time.
Yeah, and also one of the things that you mentioned is meta, right? And a lot of people who have seen the screenings and all, they said that this feels very meta, and some people will like it, and some people will be taken out of it, right? So as we see in the trailer, they are actually playing the first movie, and that is part of this world now. Like, was they will they tell him that he was the actor who was in those movies, and now that also exists in real
But
life in that world?
you
It's
want me to explain it?
I know what the
Oh,
thing is with the plot, but I'm not sure if we should say that because that's kind of
well,
spoilers and all.
well, well. I will say what's out in the universe right now. So in the year 2000, a comic was created called Get It. It was a Matrix comic book. We've had Matrix video games, Matrix Online, there's been an anime, Matrix. There's been comic books that have like gone in deep to the mythology of the Matrix and how it was created and stuff like that. But there was a small comic called Get It. This comic takes place inside the simulation. These group of friends go and watch the first Matrix in theater. They leave the Matrix movie. There's people outside. Oh, that was awesome. That was pretty cool. You have these group of friends, and they're all saying, "Oh, that was an awesome movie." And then there's one friend who's like, "I don't get it." And they're like, "What do you mean you don't get it?" So they try and explain the movie to their friend, and he's like, "I still don't understand it." What they were talking through a telephone, and they went through the telephone. Like, how does that work? And they tried to explain it more and more. And they eventually go back to a pub, and they're having a few beers, and they're trying to explain like this is what this meant. And he's like, "Sorry guys, I just don't get it." So he says, "Like, I'm going to call it a night," and he gets up and leaves. So he leaves the pub, and as he leaves the pub, everybody's watching him. They're all watching the guy leave, and slowly they all turn into agents. So all of his friends were agents. All the people who were in the bar were agents. It was all a setup because they wanted to see. They put the Matrix out in this simulation, and some people might look at it and say, "Oh, that's just a cool movie," but some people might think, "Wow, it's just trying to tell us something." Because there was many people in 1999 watched the Matrix and were like, "Are we living in a simulation?"
Yeah.
So what the agents are doing in the simulation is putting the movie out there. You watch it, and if I question my reality, then they kill me.
Yeah.
But if I don't and just think of it as a movie, I can live in the simulation all day long. That's why they do it. So I wonder if that's being put into this movie as canon. If they're going to do something like that, where the Matrix is a video game, the Matrix is a movie inside the simulation, and then Neo, Keanu Reeves' character, is thinking, "Oh, maybe I'm just having these dreams because I played the game or I've watched the movie."
Mhm.
I think that's very cool if that's the case.
Yeah. Rokan?
That's not spoilers. That's a comic book out there. So.
Well, my first reaction to it was simply, "Whoa!"
The classic.
But exactly. But yeah, so look, I mean, the first Matrix is literally one of my favorite movies ever. I grew up. It's actually one of the first few movies I actually own on every home media format that came out. VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K Blu-ray, and also on iTunes. So
So you got
it's a movie
so you
that
got all the colors.
pretty much. I can now compare and contrast between every release. It's sad. But yeah, I mean, so the first Matrix is a movie that's meant a lot to me, and the sequels I have fond memories for. I mean, Reloaded was actually the first R-rated movie I ever saw in theaters, actually. So it holds that spot in my heart. And Animatrix I love so much, and the video games too. So it's a franchise that's meant a lot to me. So when I saw the trailer, I'm with Sean on that. It's probably my favorite trailer of a movie that's getting a theatrical release this year. I was like, wow, we're really back. We're back in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So it brought back that feeling I had when I saw the Reload and Revolutions trailers for the first time in theaters. So I got that feeling back. I like the use of White Rabbit. It's a great kind of use for it. I do wish they used the Emiliano Torrini version, because that one's more kind of like has more kind of like orchestral and more rock oriented. The one that's in Sucker Punch. That's just me. But I think I like it. I like the use of that, and I also like the new additions to the franchise, especially Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as the new Morpheus, which, if you can't get Lawrence Fishburne, then your best bet to get someone who's worthy of that is the Candyman himself. So I love that, and also Jessica Henwick. I'm a huge fan of her.
She's
so great. Exactly, and she's got, I love the hair too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool to see her in it, and yeah, I mean, I've got kind of like 1,000,001 questions regarding kind of like the story and kind of like what's going on, because I've not looked into any spoilers or anything like that. I have not looked at any plot details, because I just want to go in I want to go in as fresh as I possibly can. But I do like the idea of the Matrix going a little Truman Showy.
Yeah,
I think that would actually be a really kind of cool way, because the one thing Keanu and Yahya have all said when they spoke with Lon about the movie, the one thing they've often said about the film is how ambitious it is. Which, I mean, the Matrix films have always been ambitious, but that lining up with the fact that it could be this meta Truman Show type of film, I'm like, pretty ballsy for a Matrix movie. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll definitely see. I'm surprised though in the trailer we didn't get any bullet time moments because I mean like the bullet time is synonymous with the Matrix, and we didn't get any moments of kind of like of like Jessica Henwick stopping mid in the air to kick somebody or Keanu dodging a bullet or anything like that. So
Right.
it's kind of surprised we didn't get any kind of like come on to that. And also, it also isn't shot like the other three Matrix films.
Yeah.
Too. It has a different
Very
feel
different.
to it, a different color palette. So, which I mean, that surprised me. I had to actually look up and see that they didn't get the same cinematographer as the three Matrix films. They actually got the same cinematographer who did Legends of the Fall, and he also worked with the Wachowskis on Cloud Atlas. So it does have that kind of like look to it too. But yeah, I'm so amped to see this. It is kind of unfair though that that this and Spider-Man are out in the same week.
Right. I think one of them is definitely going to be moving. Definitely.
Spider-Man probably.
Yeah. But also, like, for the Morpheus, I think this is just one of my theories. I haven't read, the plot leaks or anything like that. I think this Morpheus being very young and, inside this simulation, I think he's just part of the simulation, like he's just a program, inside the Matrix, or he could just be a hired actor, who they want as the new Morpheus for the Matrix, if you want to go, with the meta aspect of it. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on with him. So that might explain why Lawrence Fishburne isn't, Morpheus right now. But again, we only have Neo and Trinity. Those two are definitely the same actors. And also we have a Trinity type character with Jessica Henwick, and maybe those two are also actors in the old Matrix movies. And I don't know what's going on with the meta thing, but it's very fascinating, like you said. And yeah, it's very Truman Show, and I love it.
I think as well, we've only seen the first hour of the movie. Somebody said that. This is only the first hour from the trailer. So we've got a lot we haven't seen. There's a lot of machine stuff we haven't seen, of course, in those in the real world. With Neo and Trinity probably are in those chambers or in those pods. So there's a lot of that stuff that we haven't seen that will probably play a bigger part. I'm not convinced that Morpheus is all good. I don't know, there's just something about him in the trailer. But then I was watching the original Matrix as well, and Lawrence Fishburne's portrayal is very off at times as well. I'm like, can I really trust this guy? He's just the way he is. So maybe it's just that.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the visuals are just made. I love the part where like just walking down the street and all the kind of green barcodes kind of come, and the messages like that's cool. And then the helicopter kind of shoots a missile and he diverts it into another helicopter.
Yeah,
just awesome.
New powers.
So, like I think
upgrades.
Yeah, I think in this simulation, he is big. They try and give him the most perfect of life. He looks like he's living in a very expensive house. He is going to a psychiatrist because he's getting these visions or these dreams. They're giving him the blue pills to, stop him from understanding his true potential, because they probably just can't kill him because his subconscious mind is just so powerful. You just can't kill Neo, or maybe they have a bigger plan for him. So that's probably why they're keeping him alive. But he probably has a very interesting job as well. And the guy he's talking to, who looks like he's from Mindhunter, I think. I don't know the actor's name.
Yeah, he's in Hamilton as well.
He's a brilliant actor. He's brilliant. So it's awesome to see him come in. His line delivery is coming back to where it all
He's definitely playing an agent, right?
Stuff like that. Like, that was awesome, man. It was cool. And so, yeah, I wonder what Keanu Reeves' role is in this simulation. But he's not happy. He's definitely, his character is depressed. He's not happy. But then his reflection in the mirrors and stuff, he's an old man.
Mm-hmm.
He's an older gentleman. So, but then you have Morpheus is younger. You have a few other characters who seem to be younger versions of the original characters from the movies. So, like, why are they younger but he's older? And it's a lot of questions. And
I think Neo and Trinity are the only old ones, and the rest of them are new because they're rehired to do this. They cast different actors.
It looks like Yeah, and even in that scene where Morpheus kind of he goes sideways through a door, and then he's running down this
Yes,
hallway.
very Inception
He's
like.
got he has two glasses on, two
Yep.
sunglasses on. Got the circle kind of
Yeah.
ones, and then just normal
That's why I said
sunglasses
that
on.
he might be playing Morpheus inside the movie. You know?
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. But like what was I gonna say? It's like they're resetting the timeline, or it's a loop. They're replaying those moments from the first movie. So
Right.
Mhm.
I'm excited for this because we potentially could be witnessing one of the greatest movies of all time, or a really bad movie. That's just
I do think that is going to be amazing because just this stuff that we've known so far interests me a lot. That I can't see myself disliking the movie as a whole. I might dislike some parts or some decisions, but overall, this stuff in the trailer and the stuff that we heard so far is already very interesting to me, and I'm sold on it. So I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I hope that at least I can walk out of it and I can say, okay, it was better than Reload and Revolutions. I mean, I'll say this time around though, the thing that does give me more confidence in that department is the fact that Lana brought in a few of the writers from Sense8 to co-write the script.
Mhm.
Which I mean, have you guys watched Sense8 by the way?
No, I haven't.
Great show, amazing. That actually got me back on the Wachowskis' good graces because I was unsure about them after seeing Jupiter Ascending. But I saw Sense8 and I was like, wow, it's amazing. So if the fact that she got back that team to kind of help her out on Resurrections gives me more confidence that I can like this more than the second and third Matrix films.
Right.
And also I heard that this is also keeping the R rating that was in the three Matrix films. So I was like, oh, thank
Oh,
God.
that's going to be interesting. But also, I would want this movie to be a big success because, look, this is one of the Matrix is one of the franchises that I am very shocked that they didn't make like 6 or 7 movies out of it, because the first one is so powerful and it sets up everything. And then there are 2 other movies, and that came out the same year in 2003. And from
Mm-hmm.
that time till now, there's literally nothing from the Matrix, right? In the movies. And I was like, it's very similar to Alien, the first movie, and that movie has like so many other movies, and there's the soft reboot and all that. So I'm glad that this is back, and this is kind of like a soft reboot, setting up the modern Matrix and all that. So I just hope that they make a trilogy at least, with the same cast and everything. So you know maybe the next one will be called The Last One. I'm just kidding. This should have been
yeah.
called The
Matrix.
Everyone
Matrix
gets hate.
Awakens.
I was gonna say the Matrix shut down or something like that.
Yeah, I would love to see that, man. I just want these movies to keep going because the concept itself is so amazing. Not a lot of people do simulation theory in the movies, so I'd love to see that.
Like you will have people watching this movie questioning your own reality.
Hmm.
Like, what is my life? What is the world that I live in? Which is it's very interesting to go to a theater or sit down and watch the movie and have those thoughts after. And I think that's just amazing. That's just gets so thought provoking. And the Wachowskis, I don't care what anyone says about Reloaded or Revolutions or Jupiter's Ascending. These guys, girls, they transitioned. They created probably one of the greatest films, mind-blowing films, most impactful films in movie history. If there's a Hall of Fame for movies or anything like that, The Matrix is there. The Matrix is one of those things.
Our
So I
favorite
will never.
director got inspired by that movie, and a lot of the Matrixisms have become Snyderisms in his movies
Yeah,
that we love.
It's true,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I will never bet against the Wachowskis doing anything. If the Wachowskis have a new movie coming out, I would say, well, their last previous ones haven't been that good, but I'm not going to say this one's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Just like people online The newer generation of film fans are saying that Avatar 2 will be terrible.
Yeah.
It won't
I
have an
mean,
impact.
no.
James Cameron has done it every single decade.
Yeah.
Every single decade, he has had the highest grossing movie of all time, or action movie, or sequel, stuff like that. Terminator 2 looks like it came out today. It's just fantastic. Avatar was a breathtaking display of just filmmaking and the highest grossing movie of all time. And people still doubt him when he has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Avatar movies on the way. No, I'm never
The only
doubting the
thing
genius of
releasing
tech
from
that.
Avatar
Even
sequels are the release dates.
yeah, that's all. But to say that Avatar 2 or The Matrix Resurrections or Tarantino's next movie or Snyder's next movies are going to be terrible before you've even seen them, when they've created absolute perfections like Pulp Fiction, like The Matrix, like Man of Steel, go home. I'm not listening to that bullshit because
Yeah.
those guys are geniuses. Never bet against genius.
Yeah. And also, like, the first Matrix movie is very revolutionary for cinema itself, and a lot of the slow motion, the way the action is, um, the long CGI fights, and all of that is still done in a lot of cinema, like not just Hollywood, in other movies as well, like Indian movies and all other movies as well. Like I see that all the
Don't be,
time.
yeah, and don't forget, it also started the trend of having your lead characters wear nothing but black leather.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was like that, and then it was like Blade, and then Underworld, and Equilibrium, and then the X-Men movies
Yeah.
and Batman movies took that.
I saw the first Matrix movie just a couple of days ago before the trailer, and it still holds up, man. Like the wire work, the
Absolutely.
CGI, the style, the fashion inside the movie as well. Like it still holds up, and it's very surprising. It's very surprising. They were onto something.
Absolutely.
I will say that they have an uphill battle because like when they first came on the scene in 1999, the action sequences were never before seen.
Right.
With Trinity's like jumping off shot. Nowadays, we've pretty much seen everything
Right.
when it comes to action, special effects. So the Wachowskis could have something, or Lana Wachowski could have something pretty cool in this movie, but you could go and say, that was awesome, but I've kind of seen that before.
Yeah.
I've seen that in a different movie. I wonder and I hope that they're bringing something that we have never, ever seen before and are making an impact again on the way filmmaking is done. That's what I hope is happening. I know that's a big feat because there's been so much cinema since then, so much action, but I hope that they thought up something new, whether it's visual effects,
Yeah.
whether it's action, whether it's storytelling. For me, they have to bring something new or it won't have the same impact as the first one had.
Yeah, and I also was expecting that before seeing the trailer. I thought that for them to be picking this back up, and having an idea to do it, and having the will to do it, because where has that been for all these years? But finally being able to do this, I thought that they probably have something revolutionary again, that something we've never seen before. But after seeing the trailer, I'm not sure if that's going to be in it, because like you said, after that came out, as of right now, there have been Marvel movies, Zack Snyder movies, Robert Rodriguez, Sin City. There's so much stuff that's already been done. I'm not quite sure what more can be done, right? So I'm kind of not expecting that to be in this, but I would definitely love that. But as of right now, I'm lowering my expectations for that, because there really is nothing else that you can do that gradually different from what's being done now. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. That's for sure. I mean, I'd like to still go back into a theater to see a Matrix film and still say, "Holy fucking shit, I've never seen that
Yeah.
before." But yeah, I mean, I feel like if I can still walk out of Matrix Resurrections happy and still feeling like
Mind
that was
blown.
that was mind blown, or that was
Yeah.
a proper way to to continue the story, then I'm completely fine with that. Because
Yeah, me
I
too.
mean, that's kind of like my big concern is that, like, there's for many years Lillian Long would be interviewed about whether or not they would ever revisit the Matrix in some capacity, and they've always put their foot down, and they both said, no. They'd be like, we've always designed these films as a trilogy, and it's going to stay that way. And so I hope that this feels natural to the other three films. I hope this doesn't feel like a cash grab or anything like that.
Yeah, I hope so too. And one more thing that was very signature style of the Matrix, the first trilogy, is the music, and whenever the action scenes played. So I'm wondering what kind of music will they incorporate this time around. And obviously there's going to be Neo and Trinity fighting a bunch of agents and all that stuff in this movie as well. So I'm very curious what style of music they're going to go by, because techno music doesn't really play that much just in the modern day. So I'm curious as to what they'll incorporate.
Well, Don Davis, who scored the three Matrix films, and he also scored Animatrix and the Animatrix video game, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
Tom Tykwer, who scored Cloud Atlas, is doing it. So it could have that type of music to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited for it.
They've upgraded everything.
Yeah.
And
upgrades.
We haven't seen the movie. Yeah, we haven't seen the movie yet, but we can already see from the trailer that this will be modernized.
Yeah.
Instead of the phone booth, there is like a magical door. There's none of those phones around anymore. Hardly ever. The ones you see on the street, you go up and use. Like in the original one, that was a big thing because that was what was in society at that time. Now it's kind of, those don't exist. So it's going to be a different way to go into the Matrix or to, stuff like that. So I think the music will be all updated. I think that's why the film just looks different. I just think, it just looks different. Like I don't remember the 90s or the early 2000s, but the look of those films, now watching those films feels like that time. You kind of get me? And then now watching this trailer kind of feels like this time. Everything's fresher, everything's newer, new technology, stuff like that. So that's my kind of interpretation. And I think people on their smartphones around Neo in the elevator is a good sign of that. So I definitely think it will be modernized big time.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll get more into that.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Sean, you're lucky. You're lucky to have missed the '90s. Frosted Tips, Dial Up, and Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the Matrix the other night, and as the guy that comes to Neo's door to start, is like that's a pretty cool outfit, that guy. So I don't know if I have the confidence to wear that.
I also love that they kept some of the things the same as the first movie, like the way the agents move and dodge bullets. And there's that hallway scene again, where Trinity and Morpheus are running, and the agents are shooting from behind, and you can see the bullet trail going towards the screen, but you can't really see the ripples that form around that. So I'm not sure if they'll keep that, but the way the agent transforms, from the regular human, you can see that the animation is pretty much the same, and the dodging bullet animation is also the same. So I just love that. It would have been really weird if they just transitioned from the regular face into the agent face with just a fade out or a morph or something. I love that they move and the animation style is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to see this, and definitely going to be seeing the theater. I hope theaters are open by then, and I just hope this movie doesn't get pushed.